With a little bit of teething issues, we should be good to go with round 12 of the Formula 2 season 3 of SLR F1 Summit League Racing. We are a mere 3 minutes away from one lap and a very high risk, James, of invalidation. I've certainly noticed that from my practice for this weekend. And if you're invalidating an F1 car, there's a good chance you may invalidate an F2 car.
Oh yeah, definitely. F2's cars around this track. Coming up to, basically, as you want to class it now, as turn 2, turn 3. In some places, that right-hander, as you mini chicane area, before you go around the left end of the stadium section. But that section there, you cut it too early or cut it too late, you are invalidating that. So it's out there taking chances, but just being careful. It's mainly just that area in the whole back section. You just want to be careful because one mistake and you just ruin your lap. So wish all the best drivers the best.
You need to check one other thing for it, James. How is the audio of me and you in comparison to the game sound audio on the stream?
Sounds alright.
Because I tend to like to hear the engine revs, so I know which round about me. I'm like, oh no, there's somebody right behind me, I better go faster. But going back to your point there, James, I found you're certainly right with turn 2. Obviously turn 1's practically non-existent here. Maybe more so you'll notice it more in an F2 car. But turn 2, like, if you don't get the right line, there's a high chance of invalidation. I found the corner just before you start sector 2 as well, there was a very high chance if you just didn't take the right line, you had a bit too much power. You can step out with the boundaries there. There's quite a few places it just seems to, you think you're fine, you've got that wee bit of, your car at least still on the track and it still pulls you up for it.
Oh
It's quite a harsh track. As I thought we were getting ready there. So, for some reason we've got 3 spectators. There's someone else joining us. Not back to 2. Not quite the full grid we were expecting. We have got 19, it seems.
I'll just see how weather holds up because it's absolutely chucking it down outside. Yeah. As I said last week, track validation down the circuit very tough. Trying to keep it on circuit. So we could see a lot of penalties tonight in the races.
Do you know what I actually thought last week, James? Getting into the events, Singapore, there'll be barely any corner cuts. How was I wrong? so wrong.
So many.
And I couldn't get over it. I was like, it's punishing people here and there. It was very, very surprising that that's how strict it was on corner cutting.
It wasn't that many.
I just feel like... Sorry, go James.
It wasn't that many. There was the only issue with corner cutting was it was just mainly to turn 2 I saw from, especially because of the elite drivers. It's turn 2 section, through 1, 2 and 3 per sector. And turn 7 on the exit, everyone was just running wide. But the most of the incidents, the penalties, were just through contact. Silly mistakes.
I found like some of them, like the warnings, were quite a bit of sector 3 last week, especially obviously that tight windy section. So obviously your tight section here, sector 2, that's where you'll probably expect to see quite a fair bit of the penalties pop up. But it's one of those things that I'm really intrigued to see how a couple of the guys deal with that long back straight and that harsh braking point, because obviously the braking point's going to be far different in the Formula 2 cars than the Formula 1 cars. So the guys later here, they'll have a bit of time to put their setups on. We'll let them do their 1 lap of qualifying, then it's a small intermission before they get ready to lights out and away, and that's when we'll give you all the stats that we've got in the world. Because James, as a known stat man, you'll be shocked with the information I've got lying here, ready and waiting.
I'm prepared.
I'm just going to confirm a few things that we got passed through from the guys. So we've got Freeman in for Zydrad. Zydrad is pulled out of F2 due to work commitments, so Freeman will take the place of the Callum Ilott Uni Virtuosi car, at least for 2 of the final 3 races. Bo Queen's making an appearance. They'll be in the Trident car tonight. And a little update, we've got a session of dry, so no rain within Russia this weekend. And we've also been confirmed that last week Ham won his appeal post stewards for a 5-second penalty incident, so he's picked up an extra 4 points, meaning that he was previously on 305 and now 309. We'll try and join Sunday on a decent camera angle as Darnell's left the session. I think we're going to get a lobby restart.
Yeah, we're going to get a restart to the house as well. Kieran's left, the rest will follow it. So, not a great start. They have 2 drives. Well, they have 2 league and
jump out there. The good thing is I'm going to change where my wee bar is because that was covering what I needed to see, which wasn't ideal. We'll put that bottom left, not bottom right, filmed by the team. So I guess then, James, are you ready for my many stats?
Yeah.
You better have caught that.
I'm ready. Yeah, of course. Someone's probably got it.
That,
I didn't see it.
I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy getting ready to round out my stats. Right, so we'll start off with some SLR stats for you. So Russia was part of the calendar last year, and last season, so obviously still within the same game. And qualifying saw Hamjam take pole position with a 1:44.031. I'm intrigued to see if he can better that, because obviously that was a long time ago. So I'll be intrigued to see how that goes down. Others in the top couple of qualifiers will check this out. And Jamham took P3 with Darnell in P4. The feature saw Hamjam pick up the win, Darnell second, Jamham third, Zydrad fourth, and Silly Bunny fifth with Nicky in P6. And the sprint saw Zydrad pick up the win, followed by Jamham, Southerner, and Nicky in P4. We've checked this out, and Race Roller rounding out the top 6. So quite a few familiar names there, James, that could certainly leave some impressions tonight.
Yeah, of course. So we haven't got Nicky with us anymore. So, of course, you got your likes of Southerners, Race Roller, Beast Assassin. So, yeah. Well, again, I've not seen any of these new drivers race. So these guys could throw something out there and show that all these experienced drivers have been here since, some have been here since season 1. I'm the better driver, so can't wait to see how they do. Wish them all the best.
I always feel there's a case of you don't know who I am, so it's time to learn who I am. And obviously, a good debut is always a great way to kind of put your name out there. They could be looking for a position, possibly as a reserve, possibly in a league next season, in a division next season, sorry. So it's really intriguing to see, how folk cope with, as I say, the Formula 2 cars obviously handle far differently than, of course, the Formula 1 cars. So intrigued to see how that goes down. What other stats have we got for you, James? So we may as well talk about, of course, the championship. So obviously with that, removal of the penalty means that the gap at the top is 2 points between Jamham and his brother Hamjam, the 2 ARTs. So it makes you wonder, James, with 3 races to go, Zydrad no longer in Formula 2, team orders out the window, because obviously the Constructors has won, so do they just... the gloves are off, basically. The gloves are on, I should say.
I think what you just said, no team orders in this. Pretty much the championship is down to them two alone. So it'll go down to who's the better driver. 3 races remaining. You can jam and ham who's the better driver. It's going to be an exciting battle towards the end.
And I'm just looking through the rest of the championship here just to see what kind of mini battles there is. It's quite a nice wee tasty battle for P3 in the championship. You've got Darnell on 169, followed by Sumner 156 and Race Roller 153. So that could be a nice wee tasty battle. A couple of good results could see UK Beast Assassin get involved in that in the Shiraz. He's certainly 129. And then there's a nice wee mini battle after that again. The 2 MP Motorsport cars of Bennett, 628 and Sem, alongside McEwen down in 59 points. That could maybe heat up for a nice wee battle there between 7th, 8th and 9th in the championship. After that we've got the likes of Freeman, Jaylee Menz, SLR Barlow, and then Halo and Owen, and then a few guys with 0 points because they've just joined the series and are looking to get off the mark. I'm on spectate. Are you on spectate?
Yes, I am. Yeah. We're just waiting for 2 more drivers.
I just had a message saying spectate, but I'm like, I'm sure I'll hit spectate as soon as I went in.
I think it was
So,
me.
yep,
I usually
probably.
do it later.
I always do it first thing, so it's like I'm ready, and it's no me that's slacking.
That's me. When you try and look at
Of
stuff.
course, it's a resident stat man. So I'll keep all my other stats for during the break between qualifying and the race, because there's quite a few, which will just show that I'd maybe have a bit too much time. Normally we're always rushing about getting ready to start Formula 2. This week I think we're actually remotely prepared, I would say.
Yeah, we're on time. Well, we're on time. But a delayed F2 start. Can we avoid a restart in every single session? Like we did last week.
Because after last week, yes, especially when not too bad this week because it's not quite the length of a race like Singapore where it just goes on and on and on.
2 hours and 20 minutes. That was.
I know. I was like, oh my god, it's after 10 o'clock and we're still doing Formula 2. How? Hopefully we should be good here. We'll try and, as I say, get the best possible camera angle on qualifying. You'd imagine we'll probably follow one of the championship protagonists in the 2 ARTs of Jam Ham and Ham Jam. And I think they should be targeting lap times, as I say, roughly in the 144s at the front. Possibly faster compared to how they done back in November. Thanks to Clock for putting the date up on the blog, so I remember. I just hope people remember to put their setups on. Have you ever raced in Formula 2 around here, James?
Yeah, I've done it a couple of. Or did it for our league at the time. I don't think I've raced in this league on this track. Last time I raced in this league was the Netherlands. I think it was season 2. Yeah, season 2 it was on my race.
I've got to say I'm the same, James. I had a wee look back there at the Division 3 race from last year. I did not cover it. So I'm getting here with minimal knowledge of Russia within the SLR landscape. I was trying to think though, like, we kind of joined a good bit before, but I don't know if we took over F2 comms around about that time. We're in here. So,
I think we took over. It was around midway stage around Britain time.
it's possible.
Season 2 was, yeah.
Not really relevant, but just an interesting start there. Hopefully we'll keep an eye on that nobody readies up early. So just ensure everyone gets their dry setups on, because it's a dry session. And yeah. May the best person that cannot corner cut and cannot get invalidation have the best lap. I'm going to put you in a spot, James, before they start. Who's going to be on pole?
I'm going to go with Ham. Between them two, there's only going to be 2 really. It's either Ham or Jam really, pretty much. 2 minutes waiting period before we start qualifying.
That's fine, I'll just make sure everyone gets started. I can see what you mean though by saying those two. They just seem to have a better handle of the F2 car than the rest, but then again, can you really rule out someone like a Darnell who's got known pace, someone like a Freeman that's more than capable? You know, we've certainly seen a lot of guys that you maybe don't expect to be up there end up in really good positions, and you can forget all it takes is one lapse in concentration by either Jam or Ham.
Doesn't matter, yeah, I've got a
Nailed
pace.
down.
One mistake from them and you're 1 step further than them in the grid.
Just looking through here. So, what ones names that we're not too familiar with, as I say, Bo Queen down the bottom there, non-rip low key as well, and yeah, we've got a few in here, a few regulars. We've got Isuku's back again. We've got Baggy in there. Got a good few names: Jaylee Menz, Night Ranger. That should be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. Again, as I say, someone else I believe it's a good pace, but might be fulfill a few invalidations. Could be someone like SLR Teddy. I think Teddy's got great raw speed, but maybe just lacks the keeping it on the track at times.
Yeah.
try and follow somebody. Hopefully the audio is okay, and we'll try and get all the data that we can. The track map.
That's good.
Both Queens retired. Obviously that's because of the issue. See how Darnell takes that there. It's your lead car. Smooth. We'll go with on board. Just feel here, try to take the car as narrow as you can. And it's just about getting the right braking point here and not invalidating. Really tricky to keep that car from just going out. You'll probably see, I think that Stephen Jamham is probably invalidated as he drops to the bottom. So I think maybe quite a few havers try to see there if they had. We'll see how the car looks there. Quite tidy so far from Darnell. It seems like it is going to be between him, Ham Jam and Freeman at the moment for the top positions.
Rachel's up there, he's in 3rd, so each assassin's not far behind.
Oh.
Validation from Night Ranger.
See, this is where you can gain and lose so much time.
Submiss is validated, Eddie's invalidated, Barlow's invalidated, Ewan's invalidated, Cham's invalidated, Baggy's the last of the runners.
Just having a look here just to see if there is.
And he just runs wide.
Oh, he's just managed to keep it in Darnell. This could be a...
Cham's put in the wall.
Let's see how many invalidations we end up with.
Baggy
It
invalidated.
was quite a lot. I think that was
that 12 in
12 people set laps.
Yeah, 12. Jam put it in the wall on the second to last corner.
And just to give an idea as well, James, they were 1.7 seconds faster than they were in November.
Yeah, well,
And
we're doing like 144s and they're doing 142s. The pace has improved.
Quite dramatically. In fact, pole position back in November would have got you 9th place today, in there behind Owen in the Campos. But we said it was going to be big for the championship. Ham Jam picks up the 4 points, which means
Taking the lead again.
he's taking the lead of the championship, James, by 2 points. He's up to 3-1-3, and he has quite a gap between him and Jam down in P18, and there's a lot of fast guys in between as well. So we'll try to see what kind of strategies they go for. We now have a small break before we start the feature race. So you ready for all the stats of the day, James?
Oh yeah, bring them on. You know me by now.
So the real life Formula 2 season had Sochi in the calendar last year. It was round 10 of 12. It took place at the Sochi Autodrome. 5.848 kilometres, which is 3.6 miles if you prefer. 28 laps was the feature race, and it saw Yuki Tsunoda and the Carlin take pole with a 1:48.6. The podium itself in the feature race went to Mick Schumacher, followed by Yuki Tsunoda, with Callum Ilott taking the 3rd step there. And I hope that's us ready to go, because it's Darnell that clicked first there, so I'm hoping we'll just get the rest of the stats on the formation lap.
Yeah, Darnell's hosting.
Yuki Tsunoda had the fastest lap, and if we quickly go with the sprint race, Guangzhou got the win there. Nikita Mazepin was in 2nd, Mick Schumacher in 3rd, and Mazepin with the fastest lap as well. What I will say as well, James, because I want to give him a wee shout out, because I feel he is criminally underrated. Sergei Sorokin is such an underrated Russian driver, in my opinion. I don't know how people feel about him, but yeah, I felt like I was quite gutted when he got chucked out of Formula 1, I really was.
To be honest, he did have some pace when he was racing like Stroll back in the day. But again, money is king. Money is king in a game. He had a better car, more time. 2 seasons he had. But again, look what Stroll did. So he's in a what's a better car, but Simon's okay at the moment. But see how he does. I know he's in an IndyCar at the moment, isn't he?
I'm not too sure where he is, James. One thing to say, if you ever want to have like a real good insight of a racing driver's mind and what he's on with a lot of stuff, definitely check out his Instagram. Some of his posts have been fantastic, just talking about various stuff. I found it quite intriguing, just the various things that he was talking about, like mental preparation, where he sees his future, why F1's not the be all and end all for him. Honestly, such a really insightful guy to follow on Insta. We're nearly finished the formation lap here, so we'll get ready to start them up. Of course, we'll just mention a few other Russian drivers. Of course, Vitaly Petrov. There's the F2 contender Robert Schwartzman. Of course, current day F1 driver Nikita Mazepin. And have I missed anyone out? Sergei Sorokin.
Kvyat.
Oh, Kvyat, of course. I forget
the big man
the
himself.
torpedo.
That's all I can remember. I've just got some of his stats. He did Le Mans 2019 Formula 1 as well as reserve McLaren. He did the GT World Challenge Europe Endurance for SMP. Did Intercontinental GT for Ferrari, and he's a reserve for Renault. Or last season, so he's not done much since.
I'll try and make sure there isn't as many cuts during the race. I just want to try and give as many people as we can a bit of the spotlight on the formation lap. You can see there many people with the different compounded tyres and jam ham and ham jam, opposite ends of the grid and opposite ends of the tyre war. Here we go, lights are underway, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go in Sochi for some F2 action, some good starts at the front there. Freeman's got a really good start there. We'll try and get a good onboard there if we can. See if we can follow some of the toe of the guys. Oh, and there's a crash and that's Beast that's been put in a wall and a bit blokey and it's quite hectic there. We'll try and get a safety car already. That
it's the rookie as well on his debut.
I didn't catch it quick enough there, James, but as soon as I got on board, we got onto the onboard of Beast, and that's when he just went tumbling into the wall there.
Yeah, it had me at a distance. So I think it's just down to the stewards. The angle isn't great because I was further up the track on spectator mode with the back drivers. So hard to tell. There was a bit of contact. Also, going around that turn one. It's, you know.
I think your problem here, James, as well, though, like, obviously in Formula 2, everybody kind of gets like a different start. Not everybody gets the most ideal starts, and you can fall quite far behind. And it just seemed like that, different starts, people getting in the slipstream, it just kind of had that kind of Constantine effect. And I think even at that stage, it was like 4 or 5 guys next to each other, and that just kind of laid into, effectively, a bit of carnage, and obviously two get a bit too close together, and that saw UK Beast Assassin into the wall. If you are new as well to Formula 2, remember that any pit stops taken within the first 3 laps do not count towards your mandatory pit stop, so you will have to take that again. So if you're someone like Beast Assassin, he'll obviously get rid of the super softs, so he'll fix his front wing, and it'll be interesting if he does change to the mediums or if he gets an alternative. Try to see why Teddy's dropped down.
Teddy must have
spun or something.
off. I've seen changes from that. He's just getting in position back now. It's kind of. Well, UK Beast Assassin's got wing damage, so he'll look to box. He will have to box again later in the race. There's a lot of movement in the middle there from.
Got a few in the pits actually, James.
Yeah, I think it's from the damage from earlier. I was going to keep an eye on him. Yeah, I did do. Beast Assassin, wing change. Asuko, he's got wing damage. So just the car and Southerner, it's wing damage. And so just Night Ranger, he's got wing change as well.
What I find quite interesting, in fact, I'll hold that point because I'm forgetting that the timing glitches are. I was going to say it was quite a varying strategies that the at the front, but obviously once the timing glitch kind of sorts itself out, we'll have a better idea of the tyre compounds that various people are on. So I think if it's 14 laps, then you're probably going to be looking maybe 10 laps on the mediums, maybe 9, 5 on the super softs. Of course, it's 2 compounds softer, so it is a little bit of a jump. I think still. Right, so Darnell's P1, he's on the mediums, which is fine. Freeman's second, he's also in the mediums. Then we'll get 5 on the super soft. So I'll be intrigued to see on the restart if Ham Jam can maybe get the upper hand on Freeman and Darnell just purely because they are on the softer tyre.
I think Ham
just depends.
Yeah, he will get the jump on him on the restart. A sheep will be the long straight, won't get the RS, but that long straight going to turn to it's a lot of slipstream. So
I think it might come down to how they fire up the tyres as well.
Yeah, will do.
That can sometimes be an issue. I'm just going to make sure I've got a bit of paper available, because you know what we're like. We get to the end of these races and forget who finished in the top 3. Give you a few different perspectives here. I'll let you follow Bennett for a bit. So what we'll do, because I obviously put tyres up, we don't want to look at penalties, we want to look at position changes. So looking at that, Ham Jam dropped down 2, Baggy up 5, good man Baggy, Division 3 representing Sir, he's up to P7, Jaylene Men's up 1, McEwen up 7, Jam Ham up 7, and Bro Queen as well up 7, Biggest Faller, Suko down 4, Night Ranger down 3, and Beast Assassin down 14. See the field, I hope we can get them in. I hope we get the safety car in this lap. It would have been Formula 2 without one James, but I think if we get it in this lap, the back markers only within about 2-3 seconds of each other, so I'd like to imagine with quite a lengthy lap round about here, they should be able to catch up and we should be able to go racing here in the Sochi Autodrome.
Yeah.
You can see their Jam Ham firing up the tyres as well.
Looking at a restart at this point. It's just reformed. Probably a few ping bars. What they do.
And I can see that for Bo Queen. Yep.
Yeah, that's the one I'm watching.
Keep an eye on that. I need to get used to finding where cars are. So I'll locate that, to be fair. The switching from driver to driver. I've been used to just going left trigger, right trigger.
Yeah,
I'd imagine that this, oh there we go, we get the alert straight away, safety car in. So this is going to be interesting. How much Darnell backs the field up here. Because that is a hell of a long straight, which could leave him and Freeman very suspect to the cars behind on the Super Sauce. And there's a few of them.
I'm just watching the Barlow and that, just coming up to the tunnel part, and they've literally all backed off, trying to go 3 wide into the tunnel section. So it's a bit compact, so let's go on the restart.
I'm all weaving the tyres, just trying to get temperature into those tyres. And I think Darnell is boosted, so we'll try and get an onboard. In fact, we'll go on onboard of Race Roller here, because obviously he'll be just behind the guys in front. In fact, Ham Jam might even have a proper toe on Freeman here. We'll see if he. Oh, we'll try and get another view if we can.
Just right across the track.
It looks like he is going to get him purely on fresher tyres. It's going to be an aggressive move into turn 1. He makes it stick. He's hard on the brakes, and the move is done. But he has a bit of a wobble, and that's going to see Freeman come back round the outside. But all just the superior grip of the ART just keep Ham Jam in the lead, and Freeman has to back off there. See if we see any other movements further down the field. Sem is right on the back as Baggy goes a bit wide, and that is going to see him take P7. Barlow there takes a time penalty for his trouble, the first of many we'll see around this track for sure. We've also got McEwen now trying to put a bit of pressure on the back of Baggy Fan. It's all about entry and exit here. I've got a few moves there, Bohemian and Barlow, 11th and 12th. And as you can see there, good move there from McEwen.
We just literally tried to turn in with Barlow and it just didn't work out. And Bohemian just took himself out in the process.
And somebody that's benefited from a few kind of incident there. Jamham all the way up to P9 at the moment, and he is heaping pressure. Oh, got move up the front here. I completely missed because I was too busy engulfed with other battles. But Hamjam now as your leader, a bit of a wobble. He's gone wide, and that's going to let Darnell in. Doesn't want to take too much of the curb, and I just think the superior grip there for Hamjam sees him take the lead, and Darnell has to slot in P2. And we'll have Freeman following behind. We'll try and not keep it on board all the time. We'll try and give you a good view further back.
Baggy's gone off, he ran wide just before third to last corner. He just took himself off.
Just feel maybe get a wee bit out of shape there, James, and that's kind of cost him a few positions. But I feel like this track especially, we'll try and jump on this, because it's just slipstream heaven. I feel like in that middle sector it's just a case of how you're making it really be continually smooth. Like if you get one corner wrong, you seem to get a few. And Hamjam, already a second out of DRS, just purely because he's on those fresher tyres, as Teddy drops a few positions and Darnell remains ahead of Freeman, and joining their battle is Race Roller. So we'll see if Race Roller can make a move here, although
that is own damage.
We'll get Sem picking up a penalty as well.
Yes, Teddy must have been collected with someone else. I think it was probably Ranger at the time.
At least the good news for Teddy is, I say, he'll be close to the pit window for the Super Softs. So he'll be looking to get rid of them and fix any potential damage, and maybe get himself some clean air as well. See what other battles we've got unfolding. Get Jamham right in the back of Sem. Keep an eye on those battles at the front because they are quite competitive as well. Literally just a few tenths between Darnell, Freeman, Race Roller, Bennett and Owen, all in a good position. In fact, we'll see how they are. You can see it's like a Darnell train.
Champs make the move.
So
start back side with Sem.
Back onto that if we can.
He just had to, he got Sem got the inside on the where Baggy lost it. Last corner. Still side to side is in the second corner. Jam stops him behind. Jam is patient. I believe this would be... Oh, got off. He was off.
That's Freeman in the wall. I was wondering what car that was there. It has been confirmed to be the Yuri Virtuoso Freeman at the worst possible place. But it is somewhere where if you just get too quick on the power, it can lead to that happening. There's a semi an audacious move there, and he's pulled it all. He's a little bit wide. He's overran it. Manages to at least got one position, but it is going to see Jamham come back against him. Two guys on the medium compounded tyres. We'll see how Bennett slots in. As the likes of Barlow and Teddy in the pits there, so they're moving on to the medium compound of tyre. Let's see if we follow this little battle here. It seems now, with that incident for Freeman, has really spaced out the first couple of cars. They were all bunched up together. You can see a 2.6 second gap between Hamjam and Darnell. Race Roller a second further down the road, and then another 2.3 seconds to McEwen as well. So it really has meant that the closest battle we've got is this between Sem and Jamham, and I feel if we can utilise this powerful DRS, we could be looking at a manoeuvre from the ART driver up in to 5th place. How is he on the brakes? Easy as you like, although maybe not. Sem's fighting back. Some good effort there from Sem, but he has to retreat there as we get Freeman also passing. Baggy foul. Oh, it was a bit wide. And Jamham has certainly lost a few positions there.
Yeah, he's under pressure.
And it's kind of like where kind of Vettel kind of pulled out last year. Got a pitter. I think that's Owen in the pits. We've also got Bennett in the pits, McEwen in the pits. So quite a few of the guys. Going to jump onto Race Roller here because I feel he could really come into play chasing down Darnell.
Yeah, Baggy's in the pits as well. So everyone jumping on two, I believe it will be now. Yeah, first Super Softs. Oh no, the mediums somewhere.
I'm intrigued as well with the fact that Hamjam's extending. Is he maybe just trying to find a gap? That could be possible. Now we're making sure he comes out in a bit of clean air. But he is way in the lead.
Just want to leave it too late because the guys, like Darnell on, the guys on 6 lap old mediums, they can get super soft. So unless he can extend his gap up front, which he's really struggling to, so all the lap super softs. I think Darnell may benefit from this.
What's interesting as well, James, is somehow this is the only battle at the moment that's within DRS range. The grid has extremely just spread out.
Yeah, because we had a few battles just before the pits got down. Freeman overtake Baggy just before the Baggy boxed all for his tyres. Well, at the moment, everyone's over 1+ apart from race roller Darnell battle. The Darnell's struggling to keep the race roller bad.
And it was interesting there that Race Roller was 3/10 up in his last lap, so he's got the benefit of the DRS tow, but the tyres aren't going off on him. He is still keeping them in a good position. Obviously their lifespan's been extended because of the safety car, and as I speak, not only is Race Roller in the pits, but your race leader, Ham Jam, is in as well. So we'll try and pick up any battle that we can find. Let's see, we'll get Jam Ham closing back in on Sem. See if he was in the DRS line. He was, so he is going to get the tow. It'll be intriguing to see where he comes out in terms of the fresh compound tyre. So where they're going to filter out. So look, it's going to be Bo Queen. Jelly Men should have enough of a straight line speed to get away. And well, we've of course done that with this, the move from Jam Ham over Sim. You'd think this was Sky Sports with this kind of coverage. There you go. Overtake missed on camera. And Sim goes a little bit wide there. He'll be hoping now just to get a little bit of stride, settle the nerves down, and make sure he's in a good position for the soft compounded tyres. Going to follow Ham Jam, as he's going to have much faster tyres here, all the grip in the world, as he chases down Bo Queen. Really goes a bit wide there. I don't know if the tyres are starting to give up on them. Let's see how the ART driver deals. This could, as you say, play into Darnell's favour, although Bo Queen just lets him through it. I think he's accepted that's not his battle for this evening. Apart from that, Sem's closing in. I was going to say closing in, just falling a little bit away from Jam Ham. I think people maybe to keep an eye on in terms of like recovery races is SLR and Beast Assassin, who obviously pitted at the start. Could do something possible, but we'll see how that unfolds as we go on. As we get a pitter there, Darnell into the pits, Jam Ham into the pits. So the top 4 are going to go, and that is going to allow Ham Jam to come back out into the lead, but he is going to be under a bit of pressure.
Bo Queeve and Jay Laments are in the box as well, so Race will benefit from a P2 position here now. I don't know how long these guys stay in pits for.
It's intriguing, James, as well, how the tyres are not going to have much difference in terms of how many laps they've done. So that's going to be quite interesting to see how it goes down as well.
Freeman's off. Does he get damage? Or does he just spin?
Let's see if I can find.
Yeah, he's got wing damage on the left end point. I've had a collection with someone already lost it on the right-hander, or the left-hander. Penalty.
I'm just really intrigued by this whole situation with and Freeman's retired. He's called an end to his race in the feature anyway. He'll start in P18 for the sprint race, which will follow shortly after. Just on this battle here for P5, we get Beast Assassin following SLR. It's a half a second gap.
Oh, Queen. There was a battle between the two teammates of Teddy and Bo Queen. One of the two drivers went over the white line, and Bo Queen cut the corner, and there was a collision with another driver. So, probably one for the stewards in terms of the driving style of the rookie driver.
Oh, is he going to make a move here? Is it going to be risky? They're going to go side by side, but I think Beast is going to make it work. And not only is Beast going to make it work, so is Jam Ham. Both of them get to move on Southerner. And on the fresher tyres, on the softer tyres, you've got to imagine this is your man of the moment, trying to make his way back through the field as he chases down Beast Assassin. Obviously just want to line his car up perfectly here to try and get the toe, get the DRS, and we could be seeing ART 1 and 5 momentarily. In fact, they might be there before we even get there. At the turn 1, he's done it before we even get to turn number 2. Good move there. I'll see what other battles we can pick up. Battle down here for P13 is Owen, is ahead of Baggy for P12. Good move there from the car of the Campos of Jack Aitken. Good camera angle, please. Go. Battles everywhere. I'm going to try and give you this one now here with the MP Motorsport, which is Sem chasing the Carlin of Southerner. Nice little. It's a nice wee DRS train there, James, that I feel could possibly drag these cars away, and this could possibly be the guys that could be your reverse pole guys.
Yeah, well, Sam, as we saw last week, he was on P8 last time, but he's got the guys behind him on penalties. I think he'll look to stay in P8 and go again in the race. But he had a fantastic race in Singapore sprint race and leader from race round, so he'll be another penalty.
So I just feel if you stick in DRS, you get a great chance here of extending that gap.
Yeah, of course, like Team Barlow is now 4 behind on the mediums as well, or the heeled tyres. Don't think he'll have enough time to close the gap with 4 laps remaining. I think Sam will just sit out on P8.
I think he's going to make a move there. I think if he's patient about it, if he just holds off there, which he's done well, just sits behind Southerner, he's in the faster tyres, he's going to have the straight line speed, he's going to have DRS, he's going to have a toe, he's got everything he wants. Surely he makes this happen, and well, that is going to happen. We're going to quickly jump because Jam Ham's made the exact move we were talking about there on McEwen, and momentarily after you can see there Sem got the move done on Southerner as well.
Boqueen, he spun again as where Freeman spun. He's done some slight wing damage. He does have wing damage and he's not staying out.
It just seems to be if you get too quick on the power there.
He basically cut the whole line and he joined just where the red pot forms of the track, the apex. And that'll be one for the stewards.
And he's retired in the pits. We'll keep an eye and hope he stays in the session because obviously the sprint race is only a few laps away. Who can we fall out to give you some good coverage? Let's have a look at Southerner in P8. As I say, no penalty, so he'll want to maintain a gap behind Sem just to see if he can make sure he finishes in P7. I will say, James.
And left the session.
We can get him back in at one point. No rush just now, but before the next race. But yeah, I just feel like I've lost the train of thought. I was on there. I went full on David Croft. It's Sem. Sem's in the wall. He spun it. I don't know if he's just too quick in the power there. I don't know if he's got damage.
Nope, he looks good. Looks good.
Looks good. I don't know if those tyres will be too hot, but he just has to maintain the gap he's got just now. Barlow's in the same situation. If we can follow him in the Luca Giotto high-tech car.
Should be right, he's dropping up to the time. Well, of course, the EWT car behind him is putting him under pressure, so I don't think Sam's going to have to worry about it. Unless he has more time penalty, which I'm not going to look at.
Just following it here, James Asuko's making the move. Left, right, is he going to make it stick? And it's been really good defending, but surely the grip's going to be too much. And Asuko makes the move there, does it? The grip's got to be far too superior there on his car compared to Barlow's. There we go, that's the angle I was looking for. So the HW Race Lab car takes P9, and that is going to see Asuto in there. Yes, the closest battle we've got, James, actually, quite a lot out with DRS. One I'm going to start to follow now is Jam Ham chasing down Race Roller. This has been a pretty good recovery drive. A really good recovery drive, it must be said. As I say, Dozzy's mentioned with Beast as well, he's a very good recovery drive. Him and Sumner, as I say, from where they were at one point, have really done well to get themselves even in contention. So kudos to them. Fantastic drives all round. Barlow is making a move with DRS on Isuko. That would be P9 for the high-tech driver. And Isuko there will just follow through. We'll just go on the onboard, see how they deal with being in the dirty air as we're on to lap 13 already, James. This one, when they take the safety car away, is actually quite fluent.
Yeah, because Barlow makes the move, but he's under pressure again from Isuko. So that for P9 is on.
Quickly jump to this battle here because I think we are going to see an ART in position number 3 round the outside of Race Roller and Jam Ham. Just starts wherever in the grid and he'll still make a podium. Why not? Is this man human? We'll ask him later probably. But a great move there, and that sees them up to P3. The Isuko and Barlow, they continue their little duel, so we'll try and follow that. Isuko was way wide, he takes the Carlos Sainz road without hitting the wall. It's always a good sign if you avoid that. And that's going to see Barlow back into P9 at the moment, although their battling has just allowed Bennett to close up a little bit, as Isuko picks up another penalty. I think the closest battle now we've got is Race Roller.
Yeah,
Jam Ham, but I think in our case he'll probably just pull away from him, although Race Roller will just try and be dragged along with that DRS.
We'll go down to the last lap. Of course, you got the two guys in the lead, and Darnell.
I feel like we've barely touched on them, but they've been that far kind of separated and away from the rest that it's been quite relatively comfortable for both Ham Jam and Darnell in P1 and P2. I'd say Darnell has probably brought the gap down a little bit, but probably just a wee bit later as we're on board with the leader as he enters the final lap. It's crazy as well, James. He's lapped there at a 1:45. He's pretty much 1 second off qualifying times from last season. That just shows the improvement that each driver has had as the SLR seasons have went on and on, so kudos to them. Again, closest battle on, we'll jump to Isuko and get there quickly. And he's corner cut there. Busted!
Don't Steve. Don't get away with that one.
Surprised he didn't spin it, so to be fair, a few guys have spun it there, so he's not managed to do that. He's going to get the toe, he's going to get the DRS. Barlow makes the one defensive move, he can't move again. And Isuko just can't get close enough to make the move happen, and Barlow, he's going to be a bit at ease. I feel the feature they added to tell the driver above you what penalty you've got kind of does help the driver you're against, because then they know if they need to relax or push rather than ask Jeff every 2 seconds if there's a penalty. So I think Isuko may see himself down in P11, and that's not ideal. My controller batteries are low and I don't have any batteries to hand.
I have the spare cable you can have.
I think we may have to see James take over, just speaking to people while I go and hunt batteries during the 5-minute intermission.
John jump on board and lead him for the last couple of guns.
Of course, mate, we'll be there. We'll follow the leader round. Interestingly as well, James, there are only really 2 tenths Darnell gained on Ham Jam, but it is pretty much comfortable there for Ham Jam. We'll have a wee look here. Not penalties, that's not the one I wanted. Position changes. P1 start, P1 finish. The ART, the Marcus Armstrong car of Ham Jam, takes the win. Followed by Darnell in second. Jam Ham's going to cross the line momentarily to be third. Just a 15 position gain, no big deal. Yeah, it's a stroll apart for him. Race Roller P4. McEwen's going to take the line 5th. May drop through penalties. Oh, and Beast is spun.
Big car out of the last couple of corners. Will he get P8?
Just at the last corner. Sumner took 6. Sims took 7.
Oh, they crossed the line.
Beast 8, Bennett 9, Barlow 10, Isuko 11.
Isuko and Barlow were side by side across the line. It was very close.
I couldn't go for that for Beast, man, right at the end there. And that has happened. So 12 for Owen, 13 for Jaylee Menz, 14 at the moment for Teddy, who's passed by Baggy for the penalties, and we'll finish it off in conclusion by Night Ranger. So James, what I'm going to do is I'm going to note who was first, second and third, which will be Ham, Darnell and Jam, and as soon as we get up to the stat screen, I'm going to put all the pressure in the world on you because I need to hunt for baddies.
Yeah, you're fine. I'll carry on. The driver day there for Jamham, but we'll give our own opinion through stats and figures as we look after the race. As we see it,
Right, so I'll leave you, James.
Yeah, you go ahead. I'll carry on with the chat. As we see here, Mr. Big Man himself, back-to-back feature races, as Zayad held that role for the last 2 races for him. The likes of Spa and Monza. So Ham now takes the masterpiece of back-to-back feature races. So Darnell picking up P2, having a fantastic race. Them 2 up front were just literally no pressure, being calm and collective. Jam pulling it all the way back from P18. I think he would be up there for driver day. Other mentions probably McEwen and Southerners from 16th and 17th from back of the grid. Of course, McEwen picking up a penalty as well. Sim up to 7th. Beast Assassin up to 8th. Bennett 9th. Barlow rounding out the top 10. Bennett, of course, he was originally P11 because penalties from both Bennett, Barlow and Nasuko. That dropped him back. Fastest lap was a 1:44.488 from Jamham, who was just putting in lap after lap after lap. Ham was dominating laps earlier on. But brilliant racing from out. I think there's going to be a lot.
So just to warn the stream as well, sorry James to interrupt, this might go silent just as I try and switch.
That's fine.
I'll wait till we're actually in the session because knowing my luck I'll disconnect and it'll kick us through the session. That seems like an F1 kind of thing to do, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
No, greatest game in the world. This is the joys of being too stingy to purchase a battery pack because of delivery charges. That's why I'm still operating the batteries in my new pad at the moment. So I'll try and do that changeover just now.
There's no you done it. My audio seems fine, so it's working. So as we wait for Maxwell to join back, of course we're going to go into the sprint race now. Probably get your thoughts. There's 11 people who are still here. Give us your thoughts on who do you think is going to win the sprint race? We know the likes of, I believe it was Sam who won it last week after a fantastic battle from start to finish. But because the way the finish goes, how dominant Jam and Ham been, you didn't have the greatest starts last week. So I want to get your thoughts on how rush it goes. We saw a lot of spinners in a sprint race, and we saw a crazy start on the feature race. So can we expect the same thing throughout again, or are we expecting a clean start to turn 2?
Do you know, I'm really surprised there, James, to touch on something else we mentioned pre-race. I didn't feel there was as many penalties as I expected. I felt like, it was at the top 6 didn't have any, which I was actually expecting maybe just 1 or 2 of the whole grid. You've saw it plenty of times with Formula 1. Maybe it's just a case of obviously it's double the lap distance, but yeah, I just felt that surprised me a little. But as you say, quite a few people spinning, maybe just too quick on the power, but that is Formula 2 cars, they do bite, and they bite hard.
Yeah, we're going to be starting with 19 drivers this time out. Both Queens not joining back.
Perfect, that's just what I was going to ask. So on the ball, James, you certainly are, sir.
I don't think he'll be coming back.
So that'll put us down to 18. And that was Darnell telling me to monitor the connection, but we've been told he won't be back in this race. He's not joining, so fair enough.
Did we start with 20? Who's the?
We actually were meant to start with 20, James. We only ended up with 19. So take away Bo Queen as well. That would put you down at 18 drivers.
Let's see what car we're missing. The high tech. Yeah, we're missing the other high tech. We're missing, I believe, George.
Yep, so George was never in the race. George was never in the first race. That would have been one of the Tridents that would have covered him, so he should have 2 Tridents.
No Tridents, which is... No, that's the Prima. Tridents are...
Teddy and obviously would have been Bo Queen. So Bo Queen is down as P17. That'll obviously be a ghosted car, which will allow Freeman and non-rip Low Key to jump by. So you can see there's your grid there. You're going to see Beast Assassin on pole, Sem in P2. Row 2 will see Sumner line up beside McEwen. Race Roller and Jam Ham will line up in row 3. And then it'll be Darnell and Ham Jam in 7th and 8th, followed by Bennett and Barlow, rounding out your top 10. Everyone on the mediums, I expect it to be about a 9-lap race. Anyone bold enough to put a prediction in? James, you're in the box. Are you getting any bold predictions?
In terms of bold predictions, I might go for... I might throw an upset. I might go for Darnell.
I'm just shocked you think Darnell winning's an upset. Darnell's a very capable driver. Maybe from
I'm just going to go for an upset. Darnell. I'm going to go for Darnell. That's something different. You got P2. He had a confidence, right? He was keeping up with Ham Jam as well in terms of pace. He was just over 2 seconds back, but in terms of slipstream, that's nothing time. That gap can easily close from a mistake from the leader. But yeah, I want to go for Darnell. Something different. As we always know, Ham and Jam are always going to win, but I'm just going to throw a little upset. Darnell for the win for me.
Not if they take each other out.
Who's you going to go for? Or was it start the formation?
Start the formation. I'm going to go for Beast to hold out. I felt Beast had a very good comeback drive there. He's very unlucky at the end. Aye. Let's go with Beast. Where is tyres? Give me tyres, game. Thank you.
Fine. Beast is a race winner, so there's that confidence. Same Race Roller's a strong driver as well. He got that P4. I've seen him do well in sprint races, past races, and of course last season he's won from where he's positioned before.
I feel Race Roller goes very under the radar in Formula 2, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. It's always like a P3, P4, P5. He's always there or thereabouts. It's never like constant podiums, but it's always in a position where it sets him up nicely for every race, if you know what I mean.
No, yeah, he's had those one-off races where if he was in like P2, P3, he's gone on to dominate the race. I remember from Mexico last season, he was in P2 behind Little Wiggy when they were battling out for the lead, and Little Wiggy made a mistake, and he just benefited from the win.
Let's get a little on board with the Samaya Campos car of Darnell, James's tip of the day to win this race. Ham Jam.
Beating myself. Leave my own hat if this looks.
You know I like to wind you up. Thought Barlow was going to torpedo Bennett there, but breaks at the last minute on the formation lap. Just get us. Now we kind of look through the field. You can see there you get the likes of the HW Race Lab car of Giuliano Alesi, which is filled by Jaylee Menz, the John Deruvala car of Baggy Fan, or Jehan Deruvala I should say, Roy Nissani Strident.
The only thing I've seen around this track, when I've been watching some of the mid-pack drivers, I've noticed quite a lot. Everyone's trying to outbrake each other around here. And it's one of those trucks where the corners are really challenging to get yourself around if you're going to outbrake the other driver side by side. It's just, if you're going to make that bold move, you're going to have to know if it's the right move to make, or it's going to be one of those chances. Is it going to be a race ender for you?
I'm intrigued as well. 11 laps for this sprint race, quite a bit more than I expected. I was only thinking we'd get 9, but there you go. They expect the medium compound tyres to go 11 laps. So it'll be interesting to see what chaos shenanigans we will have right now. We'll wait for the drivers to line up, we'll wait for the lights to go out. That's a not bad camera angle of the lights.
Yeah, quality angle.
Let's hope we get them. As the tyres are getting cooler and cooler. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's lights out and away we go. See, one of the dams there got a very good start, and there's 3 in the wall.
We got enough.
And it was one of the dams was involved in that. He was kind of the sandwich there. There's a bit of carnage again at the back, and oh, it's messy.
That's
and it's
McEwen, and that was Suddenness as well.
Never even made it to turn 2, James, and a virtual safety car has...
Race Roller was involved, he's got a wing damage. So does the BWT as well, there's wing damage. And Suzuka. Suddenness has wing damage as well, so we're going to expect a lot of pitters.
I honestly think it was Race Roller that had the fantastic launch, and I just feel, I need to see it again admittedly, but it just looked like he was maybe like the same as the first race, just too many into one bit, you know, like 3 into 1, 4 into 1 doesn't go. That could be a theme of the weekend, James, as well, you know, especially when we get to the Formula 1 cars. But yeah, so Sem takes the lead out of it, Beast in P2, 3 position gained and avoiding all the carnage for Jam Ham, Darnell and Ham Jam. Barlow up 4 positions to P6, Bennett up 2 as we go racing again. Baggy, I was just going to say, up 6.
Baggy's up 6. He's in the points.
F2, Division 3 representing Baggy, on you go, sir.
Yeah, and he's expecting his first points of this season, so keep an eye out for him.
And this is going to be interesting if Sem can do the same as last week, but there's going to be a lot more opportunity to overtake in those 2 long DRS straights. So he's already got Beast and Jam and Darnell. Oh, as Darnell gets a bit of a shape there as they go down in formation around the final sector. A Race Lab car going a little wide there. Those are on board with Ham Jam. So we've got Owen making a move on Baggy. As Baggy going to try and get the switch back.
We've got a couple of pits. We've got one so far. I believe that's Suko. He's in the pits.
McEwen as well is in.
And Teddy's in as well.
And in true fashion, we have the good old standings glitch. So people are here, there and everywhere as we've lost Teddy, who has retired in the pits. And I never been a fan of that personally. A safety car can change everything. Cough cough last week. So that's how I always say, just stick at it, you never know what can happen. Look at this train behind Sem. It's the Sem train.
This never changes.
He is keeping quite a few at bay here. I try to see what that car is that's detached a little. I think it's Barlow. I say I think because the timing is not even here.
There's a bit of a gap between him and Ham, yeah, there's 1.3.
Nicky, top 3 for the feature was Ham, Darnell and Jam. This is why you write it down, James, so you remember, because I've already forgotten.
I have written it down, It was Ham, Darnell, Jam, Race Roller and McEwen. The top 5.
The pressure Sem is under, defends very well there. Oh, we're kind of like that bird's eye camera that the Formula E's got to the side of the driver here, or the Hawkeye is it they call it? Driver's eye, I don't even know these
driver's
days.
eye.
They've got that many gimmicks.
Sorry, that's not the only train. We've got, of course, a train now for P10 as Cheer the Men's gets the corner there as Race Roller and Freeman are battling out for that P11 sessions. Constantly switching out the side, now side by side. Freeman on the inside. What they contact there from Freeman's?
Look at that, the fastest lap.
Two teammates of the Dams battling out. Non-right low key locks up there into the last corner.
Julian Men's leaving the session. He's not retired. They've got to try and get him back, but I think that is a case of he has potentially.
He had wing damage.
Oh, Sem's went a little bit wide there. It's opened up some gaps. Beast is in there. It's 3 wide. Is it going to turn to? I think this is turn 3 or 4. I don't even know. And who's going to be braver? Sem around the outside. There's a little bit of a shove, push sub. Jam Ham's in there.
3 into 1 doesn't go.
Not around Russia either. It's well done guys for keeping it remotely clean.
Just seeing Boat Queen's AI car just overtaken by
Oh, Darnell horribly out of shape there.
Neri.
I'm going to jump on Beast as he tries to go down the inside. It's a penalty for Beast, but I think if he went any more narrower, he was going to be taking Darnell out and probably resulting in wing damage of his own. And through all that battling and shenanigans, James, Jamham's out of DRS range. He can pull away. Well, these all squabble. Yellow flag, sector 2 seems to have cleared as Beast Assassin.
One mistake here from one driver can cause a massive chaos behind.
I'm scared. I'm scared for them. Oh, and just a wee kind of look up the inside from Sem there on Darnell. He's going to try and hang it round here. There's a little bit
He
of
picks
track.
up a penalty as well. He's now 3.6 behind Owen now, and now it's going to be a further 3 more
And
seconds.
Hamjam gets the elbows out there, maybe a bit aggressive there, but kind of punts Sem out wide. And that's dropped the position. Bardlow's getting involved now in the race, the high-tech car, sorry. He's going to get in this slipstream of DRS. Good camera angle on Sem as Darnell battles Hamjam. Oh, and that's front wing.
He didn't need Ham slotting in there, and just gave him the wing damage. He had nowhere to go.
Sem managed to get on the track, just in a good position there, just ensuring that the baggy gets through. No issue there. We'll need to continue on and follow the fight ahead though, which is Darnell, and this again has helped out Beast Assassin as well, up into second position with a 2-second cushion on Darnell. And every race with implications to the Formula 2 Championship between the two ARTs.
Now with his wing damage, Sem's really struggling out. He's trying to keep Freeman behind. He's just been overtaken by Baggy. Because Baggy has a penalty, he will drop further down the field. Sem was slightly wide, struggling with that wing damage on them.
I think he should risk the pits. We'll see here if Darnell's going to lose a position to Hamjam, and the ART makes a move and is up into third position, because the softs can last here. The super softs can last, and a safety car could aid, but although trying to make moves here could be rather limited in places.
Free wide. Yeah, nearly went free. Trying to go free wide in the last couple of corners. Just switching it out as Sem now runs slightly wide. I think Sem should jump into the pits.
Get on
those super
He's
softs.
picked up a penalty as well. I would risk it for the good chance of a safety car. Absolutely risk it. Again, Darnell now looking to get the move on Hamjam. We'll take that away from that camera.
The race halts in the pits as well.
Owen will move up on Bennett for P6.
Baggy's not that far off Freeman now. He's now closing the gap. He was a bit further behind through that little mistake on the last corner, but now closing the gap. Close up Rick Loki in the top 10 now. It's a nice clean race. Yeah, of course Sumner's behind, and the AI car Bo Queen, which is behind.
Barlow picking up a penalty there.
It's race roll now. It'll drop down to 16th, just behind McEwen and Asuko. So over 16 and 17th will come out. J. Lemons is just overtaking race roller. Sam just comes out ahead. He does.
Roller picks up a penalty there, down in 18th place.
Yeah, just cuts the turn to.
Just following Bennett, he's chasing Owen. I don't think he's going to be a bit too far behind here to make a move, but could line himself up. Owen goes a little bit deep into that high braking point, and it could leave him suspect to a little bit of pressure, but they are quite remotely close together, this little bunch. The last few
Bennett had a little
points.
Bennett a little bit of oversteer there as he goes around the fourth last corner. He just jumps into the pits.
Any damage, do you think, on the car of Bennett?
I'm gonna have a look. It doesn't look like any damage. I think he's gone for tyre change.
So I'm going for
Keep on board,
the Charles Leclerc Strat of Bahrain.
Looking like it. It's not changing his wing. Yeah. Taking the risk, he's going for the fastest lap as well, so he's down in 13th. Come out ahead of McEwen, is still on the lap before. A lot of places to gain back up, boys. 5 laps down.
Problem is, a Formula 2 pit stop takes so long.
Yeah. Even a Formula 1 takes that round.
Badby's came out still ahead of Sem as well. I was quite shocked at that.
Yeah, Sem had wing damage and Bennett didn't, so I think it's possibly why.
Two other fights will follow.
As the back markers of Sem, Race Roller, and Zuko are all battling out for J. Men's session. Back.
Actually going to move to the battle in a minute for the second place. Ham and Darnell have really managed to get the gap in on Beast, and they're going to be within DRS as we head to start lap 7 very shortly, so we could see some movement as Teddy's left the session. He's already DNF'd. See what's happening here. I'm jumping up the fastest lap as well, a 1:45.7. Is he going to be close enough? Let's go on board. Beast defends the inside line, and I think it is going to be enough, although look at the speed difference, a little bump draft in there. Beast does have the penalty, which would have seen him drop down anyway, but Ham Jam makes the move, and we'll try and slot in to see if Darnell can get close, although Beast's defending it, which if anything it is just going to bring Darnell into contention.
There was a little battle between Barlow and Owen. Owen got squeezed into turn 2 as he went over the little sausage curves, and he bounced off as Barlow keeps ahead of him at the moment. Also got a battle at P8 because Bankifan has 6 seconds of the penalties now. Debutant, non-right Loki, is in prime position to get his first points of the season. He's had a brilliant race from the back of the grid.
I'd say likes of him, I'd say Freeman as well, certainly a bit under the radar with some stellar performances as they've made their way up the grid. A yellow flag in Sector 1, James, get any idea who that is?
McEwen, he's backwards on the track, so I think he's probably lost it or there was some contact as he was in the sight section of the track, turn 3, just facing backwards, and he's now back of the grid. Yeah, he doesn't have any wing damage, so it looks good, but I don't think he'll finish the race. I think he'll bring the car in. And there's quick movement. There's no non-right bloke. He does make the move ahead of Baggy as he ran wide. We got the slipstream, so that's fantastic move from him.
Yellow flag in Sector 3, and that is Ham Jam. I don't know what's quite happened. I started watching Barlow versus Owen, but Ham Jam seems to have lost it, possibly on power where the rest have. And that is going to see Ham Jam drop behind Barlow. He is going to get DRS, but are those tyres going to be a bit overheated, and is that going to allow Owen to get a good run on him here and push for 5th position, or is Ham going to turn defence into attack and get back ahead of Barlow, which he does indeed. And Beast and Darnell are at it, so let's jump onto that battle now. It's happening everywhere. And they're going side by side. I think Darnell's just a little bit behind. And if you're Jam Ham, you're thinking, oh, I'll just check out. See you guys.
Yeah, Freeman's in a good position. He's not that far behind Owen. He's now closest gap up. It's a battle go ahead.
I feel that all the battling's kind of just brought Freeman right back into it. So if he can keep it clean, just pick the right opportunity, he could look at gaining some positions here. Owen and
both BWT's a box, so Zuko's looking to change onto the mediums, and the AI car J. Lemons is now stuck behind him. And of course, McEwen is being held up as well through the car of the AI J. Lemons.
Just looking here as we'll get Ham Jam right in the back of Barlow. Still a performance. I think Barlow had a pretty decent showing at Singapore. Yellow flag in Sector 3, and I think that is Owen that's round the wrong way, and that's a damaged wing.
Yeah, he has wing damage. All left end plates gone.
Not ideal for him. and it was a double whammy for the F1 McLaren drivers as Sem picked up a penalty at the same time.
Yeah, but this will promote a non-right bloke. It's a P7. He's a brilliant race. He's up 11 so far. He'll jump up 12. Dylan Freeman up 12 positions. Fantastic race.
Absolutely stellar recovery drives from both, as you see Ham Jam there making the move back on Barlow.
Oh, he got caught out. He got caught out from basically he undone him through the next corner. That's follows.
Follow Darnell again, he's right behind Beast Assassin.
He jumps into the pits. He will come out just behind Sem in the order.
It's quite interesting, James, that because obviously the length in F2 pit stop, that really the pit stops for Race Roller and Sem has just left them kind of in the middle of nowhere battling each other. Down in P13 and P14.
Oh, these guys have been battling out. Of course, Race Roller, Sem, the DWTs, they were battling out, but they were both boxed. So, of course, McEwen was there as well, but he got held up by the AI car, so I used to down some Race Roller and Sem to battle out for P, but there's no points involved, penalties alone, really.
So looking here, Ham Jam is eyeing up Barlow, and it now seems, a message in the Discord, that's fine. I also have to check in case it's something your own's retired, he's lost it. I've even got a car near that can confirm it. In the middle of sector 1.
Seiko's closest. See if we can get on board him.
Would be a Suitco. I don't know if Owen's car will be there. When we get there, what will you look? See if we can see where Owen's car is. And it's gone.
It's got.
And then Suitco nearly follows him.
I think he just got collected in the wall.
Ham Jam makes the same move again on Barlow, but Barlow's going to go in round the outside to try and make the recovery and to get the position back. Is he? In this instance, he is not. Ham Jam slots into P4, and for good measure, Freeman goes, I'll take that nice little gap, and I'll take P5 as well, and now he mounts a charge on Ham Jam on his return to Formula 2 racing. See what other battles we've got on. Darnell and Beast will keep an eye on as Ham Jam picks up a penalty, and if you're Freeman now, 10 seconds to third place, do you just sit here knowing that both Barlow and Ham Jam both have penalties? Or is the inner racer in you like, I'm going for this?
I think there's a lap and a quarter to go now. I think just hold on, really. I don't think you need to push yourself. You can push yourself, you might get penalty. Looking going for a move, slots him behind.
That's a terrible camera angle game. Terrible camera angle.
So there's Boxer, he's looking to go for the fastest lap as well. He's boxed on super soft, but of course he's got a lap to go yet, so might have time to set one.
As the leader is on the final lap. And jump on with Darnell. I think there might be a move here, but Beast Assassin's going to be aided with DRS of the lapped car of Lee Menz, the AI car of Lee Menz. Beast tries to make the one defensive move to the inside. Is there going to be a potential switch back here? I just don't know if he's going to get enough of an exit to make the move happen. And I think Beast is going to retain second place ahead of Darnell. And obviously Lee Menz isn't in the session, so the car's got out of the way now, thankfully. And they've both remained unscathed, no penalties, but Darnell is on a chase. Freeman is gaining and gaining. Just caught the end of that.
There from Freeman. Quality, I would say.
Oh, and a bit of wobble there for Ham Jam as he tried to make the move back.
Yeah, I'm looking at the fastest lap so far. So far, McEwen with a 1:44.765. Southerners will be looking to close, looking to beat that. Keep him going until it's set. Final lap.
See if Darnell's going to make a move. This will be one of the last opportunities he gets to make that. Will Beast be able to make the moves defensively? Oh, he's went really, really deep, and that's just not allowed. There's still no gap. Still no way through for Darnell.
No, he was on the wrong side of him.
I want to follow the leader as they take the flag, but we have such a battle here for second place. Jamham is going to take the win by over 6 seconds, in fact more than that, probably 9 when you add in penalties here. We need to follow with second and third. It is so close, but it is likely, unless there's a last corner cut. Jamham takes the win. Beast Assassin P2. Darnell takes third position. We'll be on board with this trio for 4th, 5th and 6th, and that is going to see Freeman take 4th position. It's going to see Ham Jam 5th, Barlow P6, and then, a bit under the radar, but non-low-key, is this a contender for you guys as driver of the day, as on debut takes P7. And Baggy at the moment is P8. Is he going to hold that? He loses it to Bennett. Bull Queen doesn't
6
count.
seconds off penalties.
Because that's an AI car.
You'll get a DNF for not starting.
So
oh yeah, the DNS for not starting. He'll drop down to P19.
P10 then will go to either Race Roller or Sem. Oh,
no,
and Race Roller and Sem went in sync. Yeah, I've got that in Stream Voice, so if you want to clip that, you've got that little moment for you. It's the Sem and Night Ranger. It's a Sem and Race Roller, Night Ranger P13. Southern down in P14. Pretty eventful. He get caught up at the start, which is a shame for him. And I better note down as well who our top 3 is. So that is Jam, Beast
and
Darnell. So Darnell with 2 podiums and Jamham as well. So Southern crosses a line.
Doesn't get the fastest lap where he was trying to get over. 6 tenths up in his time. 6 seconds.
McEwen in P15. Suko! I told you to get that last corner cut. And then ending up was obviously Jaylee Menz, who did not finish. Or not classified. Game gives it to PSR Freeman. Let us know in the chat who you want your driver of the day to be, or we'll put all the pressure in the world on James to submit it for us.
I think someone's just left the league. Bo Queen is left the league. So
that was quick. So
that was a great debut for him.
The 3 people that we'll need in the party eventually, James, is going to be Ham Jam, who took the win through a pole first, and in the sprint race he was 5th.
Ham, Jam and Darnell.
Jamham is 2nd, with
Darnell through 2/3 on a fastest lap.
So Jamham is a 3rd, a 1st, and a fastest lap.
3rd, 1st, and fastest lap. And
Darnell a 2nd and a 3rd.
3rd.
I feel we do these interviews too often, forgetting where people finish, so I feel it's only respectful that we learn where they all did.
It's only because we're expecting a restart midway through.
But look at that, only 3 points then between Ham Jam and Jamham. I think I need to do my maths here. So if it stays how it is just now, Jam is leading by 3, Ham might be leading this championship by 1 point. I think, depending on how my maths is.
I'll do. You got 4 in qualifying, so in total you got 32, 35. So just knocked 3 off Ham. So that would be. Close that gap down to 2 points. Yeah, 2 points. No, 3 points.
We've got Darnell in the party. We'll just give it a bit to see if we get Ham and Jam in.
Just don't mind them though.
Probably do these that often that they're sick of them.
Get used to it, man. Let's quickly tally up their points.
There we go. Let's jam in. Right, that's everybody in. If you would like to tick your boxes, gents. James, are you happy to do it? What way do you want to do it this week?
You could split it, you could do it yourself, up to you.
Do you have good questions? I usually just
Yeah,
go
I
off
have.
the same way.
I just go with the flow. I just interview as much as I can. Yeah.
Oh,
You want to?
wait.
If I take third, you want to take top two, or do you want to do third and first, second? Yeah.
You do third and first then, and I'll do second. Go with that.
Yep. Good. Go for it. Alright, so let's start off with our third place in the championship. Let's start off with Mr. Darnell. Welcome to the interview section. How do you think your qualifying went for you?
To be honest, I think that was really the maximum I could have got. When I was doing practice, I think I was averaging between like 0.8 and a 43 flat, so to get 0.7 I was very happy. Yeah, I couldn't have done any better, to be honest, if I tried.
Yeah, you couldn't close that gap on Mr. Big Man himself, Hamjam.
Yeah, another level.
Because there was a mistake from Jam Hammer, so we put it in the wall in the second to last corner, but we'll leave that for another day. Do you want to take us through how you went through the race? To be honest, you had a clean start and to avoid that mess on turn one.
Yeah, I looked behind and I saw the carnage. I was like, oh my god. And then obviously I don't really know what happened to Ham's start, but it was a game glitch or something kind of benefited me as well. And then obviously safety car coming out so early kind of helped me as well with the alternate strat. Yeah, I was always planning to do it, the alternate strat. Just couldn't quite close Ham in towards the end. Kind of cut it down by like 1.5 seconds or whatever, but he was just too quick.
Yeah, I think the safety car didn't help you in terms of how you wait your strategies to go with the longest stint. You always want that extra bit more time without a safety car early on, maybe later towards the pitting stages. But
I don't know. I was kind of happy. I mean, it gave Ham less time to pull away on the softs because he was coming through me and Freeman anyway, and he did.
Yeah.
So I was happy either way.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you two were like dominating in front till the end of the race. It was like a 2.4 second gap between you two at the end, but at the moment, you kept third a bit of a distance from you. Feel you had any pressure from behind?
In the feature?
In the feature?
Briefly on the first stint of Roller because he was quick, but then after the pits I kind of pulled a second on him through the pits, and then I was just able to pull away then because I was on quicker tyres. So no, I was just solely focused on Ham in front. Trying my best, but yeah, it was so hard. I was sweating. I'm sweating now.
Yeah, of course. Zyno's not here now anymore, so you take third in the driver's standings. So that's not too bad for you. But how do you feel now your sprint race went? Because you started in P7 from your P2 on the grid. You had a great start.
It was helped with 3 cars in front of me flying off the track. I was so lucky to avoid that. They kind of went to the left, and I just went through the gap, and then I was in like P4 or whatever it was. So, yeah.
So you caused it, or?
I'd rather not comment, but okay. I did see it.
Oh, we'll leave that then. Leave it to stewards. Of course, we saw. Backs of Beast and led most of the race until the likes of Ham caught up through that big train. So you likes of you, Sem, a few others. It's just trying to keep it nice and cool, no mistakes. It's a 4-car train going 3 wide in some sections. How do you think your confidence was going through them stages?
It was tough. I normally tend to get pens following traffic, and funnily enough I did get one. Obviously Jam cut his way through and pulled away and dominated, and then Ham tried passing me at one point and let him through just to follow him because I knew he was quicker, hoping he would catch Beast, which he did, and then unfortunately he spun, which left the battle for PT between me and Beast, and it was probably the best bit of racing I've done in SLR, to be honest. That final lap, it was intense as hell, but yeah, I'm happy. Podium in both races. Can't complain. Good points.
Yeah, a lot drier this week, so some brilliant races. Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
I'll move on to our second place driver from the full weekend, which was Jam Ham. We'll keep qualifying brief and short. I think it was an invalidation. Whereabouts was that?
Yeah, it was just down into turn 1. Bit annoying, just didn't slow down quickly enough, and yeah, it's fine every other time I went through there. So yeah, a little annoying.
Is it something you'd practice a lot coming into this, or is it just a case of just see how it went in that lap, and unfortunately it just was an invalidation?
To be honest, me and Harry only did about 15-20 minutes practice, and we only did one qualifying run, so probably should have practiced a bit more on that front. But yeah, it'd been alright before that, and then obviously with the one that got restarted, it was fine there as well. So yeah, just a bit disappointing, but completely my own fault.
I mean, the good thing is, it started with negatives, and I think the rest of the weekend you could probably say was positives, so that's good there. Obviously, it did leave you straight off the bat in a bit of a pickle, obviously, further down the field. How did you feel coming through the field and finishing in P3?
Yeah, it was a pretty fun race actually. Fighting my way through. I knew my pace was going to be good from the practice me and Harry did briefly before. I was pretty confident I'd be able to match him. So yeah, quite disappointed to start so low down, but I was quite confident of getting back into the points. And then yeah, after the pit stops, coming out and sort of looked at it and was thinking probably third's my best option here. And yeah, thankfully the pace on the supers was really good after that. A bit of contact with Sem lost me about 3 or 4 seconds as well. So maybe could have been a bit closer to potentially challenge Darnell. I think I probably would have held him up in the pits a bit if I hadn't lost that time, which could have helped. But yeah, I was happy with the recovery in the fastest lap.
And we'll move on to the sprint race there. Obviously, you took the win. Was that just a case of as soon as you got out to the front, just allow everyone else to just battle away, and that was it? Stroll after that? As I say, I think it was quite close at the start. I think there was like 4 or 5 E's in that battle. And then just you finally get moved on, and then after that, was it a case of a bit of frustration before making a move at the right time and off into the sunset, as they say?
A little. I think obviously the start benefited me quite a bit. I'm not really sure what happened between the 3 in front, but yeah, getting up into third right off the start was nice, and then obviously 11 laps then to make 2 overtakes. I was confident I'd be able to do it. I mean, to be honest, I was quite confident. I could probably get the win starting 6th based on how the feature had gone, but obviously it's never given in the sprint, is it? But yeah, I just bided my time with the overtakes. I knew I'd have the pace to be able to do it, and then yeah, was quite lucky that Joe and Harry didn't get through the traffic as easily as me, and yeah, was able to pull away after that, and almost got the fastest lap at the end as well, which would have been nice. But yeah, just getting through, making the moves at the right time, and yeah, bringing in the win, which was nice.
I got one final question for you that I've been dying to ask you. Given the championship is so close, the Constructors' Championship is tied up, have team orders run out the window? Is it now just a straight fight? Is it you're on one strategy, I'm on the other, or is it still just a case of just see what happens and go race by race?
To be honest, I don't think we'd ever really had team orders to begin with. I think we were always quite...
You still on? You cut it. You cut out.
I'm here. Is everybody else here?
Yeah. Sorry, I disconnected.
I thought
turned off, so.
we'll not talk about mine during the race.
Yeah, we were always quite confident we'd be able to win the Constructors, just based on how it had gone last season. I think we got a massive hand from the draw putting this together, so we'd never really had too much team orders. But yeah, definitely for sure, once we wrapped it up last week, it was all out between the two of us. I think if I'd started where I probably would have done the same strategy as Harry. So
I see. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing like that. I think the position I started in just sort of, well, I was always planning on starting on mediums that far down.
Can I just butt in for a second? Obviously, you both on the Constructors, so congrats, but when you message me your car for next season, please don't choose the same team. I know you're going to, but just for the sake
Make a
of
competitive
mankind.
voice. We want something to watch. I think Sider's not here next season, so I think usually the only competitive drivers left. Any more questions, Maxwell?
No, that was my final one, but over to you.
Right, so we'll take it on board with our big man himself, Mr. Ham, Mr. Cool Karma Collective. How do you think your qualifying went as we saw you dominated the qualifying? You there, Ham?
Yeah, sorry. It was a good lap. I mean, James was in the party straight away down into turn 2. He's like, "Oh, I've invalidated." It put me in two minds really, whether to kind of push on and really go for it, because obviously those 4 points for pole could be crucial, especially considering the way the championship's going. Or to just play it safe, because I was pretty confident I'd be able to sort of get a top 3 if I just played it safe. As it happened, I kind of pushed on, and then when it got to the final sector, it was a little scrappy, and I kind of just made sure that I was valid through the final few corners, and yeah, thankfully it was good enough for pole.
Yeah, of course you beat your previous lap. You did 144.031, and you're 1.7 seconds up on your previous time. You're in the 142s. It's like, that's a fantastic lap. You improved from last November when we last raced around here. So yeah, brilliant lap from you, man.
Thank you.
How do you think you're going into the race? You were in lead. Of course, it was a little tussle behind. You got off to a clean start, and you didn't really have that much competition. Of course, like you had the boys like Darnell and the guys behind you were trying to keep up with you. You just had that extra edge because the two guys behind you, Freeman and Darnell, on the mediums. You just had that your fellow super softs could go more than 3 laps.
Yeah, I mean it was a tricky one. I think I kind of made it difficult for myself off the start. I don't quite know what happened. I mean, as far as I was concerned, it looked as though there was a lot of movement going on behind me with the proximity areas before my lights went out. Like I said straight away to James in the party, I was like, I think someone's jumped the start here. So I don't know whether my lights just went out slightly later than everyone else's, but obviously that put me on the back foot. And then I was battling with Race Roller through the first proper corner, but turn 2, when the safety car came out, obviously. And thankfully, I kind of just held it in there and got the position. And then, Freeman and Darnell didn't make it easy, definitely, but I was able to get past them and then build a bit of a gap. But I mean, I always knew that there was going to be a threat later on in the race. I mean, Darnell's definitely been showing as of late that he's really pushing us now. So I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but thankfully I just had enough of a gap, because I was on a couple of warnings I think for quite a while, so I was just making sure to keep it within the limits, and obviously still trying to push to not lose any time.
Yeah, you kept it nice and cool all the way until the pit stops, and you boxed, and then you just didn't. You kept near enough near the top towards the end after goes a safety car and a virtual safety car, but yeah, I think you just you nailed it out from that. No stiff competition from Darnell towards the end. There was a 2.4 second gap, as I spoke to Darnell earlier. And you just crossed the line, nice and clean, no issues. Another win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the pressure was there, but like you say, there was no sort of direct pressure. It was all obviously. I was just constantly watching the delta, just seeing what the gap was changing. Yeah, unfortunately, Darnell wasn't quite able to. Because it was coming down quite a bit at first, but I think it's that crossover where the supers start to go off and the mediums start to come into play a bit more.
Yeah, they do. And so that's a fantastic win for you, mate. Of course, you take the mantle now of Zydra's back-to-back win, and that's now a back-to-back win for you. Can you do a triple header of a back-to-back-to-back win going into Brazil in technically 4 weeks' time, or 3 weeks' time? But we'll go into the sprint race, and of course you're starting P8. Of course, there was a 3-car battle of a heat of the moments between the likes of Southerners, Race Roller, and a few others. What was your reaction as you entered turn 1?
Well, I was saying again, obviously to James in the party, it's just me and him in there. I was just saying I'm going to play it safe. There's no point in risking anything. Breaking front wing, because I think that's the noticeable difference I seem to find compared to quite a lot of other drivers here. Is I tend to brake or be able to brake quite a bit later. So I knew that if I was kind of taking my normal braking points that I would have done, like in quali, for example, I might have run into the back of someone. So I was playing it pretty safe, but obviously, again, like with Joe and James, obviously the three cars spinning off helped massively with that. And then I think it's one of those. I mean, nothing against the guys ahead, but I think it was kind of whoever out of us three got past first was going to always win the race. I felt. I think that's just unfortunately or fortunately for us, perhaps the pace difference. I mean, as soon as James got past, I was thinking, oh, that's GG. But Joe gave it a good effort trying to get past Beast, and then Beast defended well. To be fair to him, and then yeah, it was a little scruffy. I don't quite know what happened. Like Sem and Joe were going side by side, and I kind of went for the move, and it kind of all got a little messy. And then I think Sem ran into the back of me, but I think that's just a bit hard racing, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure any of us did anything too much wrong, but. Yeah, and then I mean I messed up myself. My controller died, so I lost audio, and then I spun it. I mean, I think I should still be. I think I'm ahead by like 1 point, so hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me. But I mean, I think we've all made a few mistakes here and there this season, so it definitely wouldn't be a season-defining mistake. Albeit it's obviously quite a costly one.
Yeah, of course, like you said, it was a tussle between you. So I was riding on board with Sam at the time, and you were on the inside line, whereas the guy in front of you and Sam were on the outside line, and you just moved into Sam's lane, and Sam had nowhere to go. He just broke into the back of you and just broke his wing and ran off track. I think it's just an unfortunate mistake.
I thought that was what happened. I was saying like
it's just unfortunate you were there.
Yeah, I mean when you're battling with someone, I mean you see it obviously in the real life. They pull in behind into the braking zone and just let the car go, which is what I was doing. I think unfortunately Sem maybe just broke a bit too late then and hit the back of me. Yeah,
wrong place, wrong time, and it's just unfortunate how late these cars break into corners nowadays. But other than that, there was just a very long tussle between that basically fourth place onwards. It was a 4-car battle for a very long time. What was your reactions going to the last final few laps in that long battle?
I mean, having orange wing damage was pretty difficult. I was slightly surprised at my pace compared to like Freeman and Barlow, to be honest. That I was kind of able to stick it in there. I mean, obviously I got the penalty, but it didn't matter in the end because Freeman got past anyway. So yeah, I mean, I think again, like I say, I kind of just made it a little hard for myself with the mistake, but I was still able to get 5th, so it could have been worse.
It could have been worse, but as you crossed the line in 5th place, you do extend the points over your teammate, but it was only, I believe, 3 points, so you're now 4 points behind your teammate. He's on 346, you're on 342.
I think I might be 1 point ahead because I got a penalty removed last week, but we'll
it might not have been updated. That's probably why.
Yeah,
but yeah, you might be 1 point ahead. That's right. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Congratulations on your win and congratulations on P5. But congratulations overall to getting more points on your team. How do you feel you're going to go into the last couple of races now? Are you going to go give it all your best? Have a dominant battle between your teammate and your brother?
Well, I mean, I hope so. I was in an even better position a couple of seasons ago heading into Brazil and Abu Dhabi, and I bottled it. I mean, I think it's maybe a bit time for a bit of vengeance at Brazil because we don't have the best track record around there. I mean, I guess I technically could win it next time out, but I'd need to, match points and James to retire in both races, which isn't happening. So I think it's going to go right down to the wire, which I like, to be honest. I mean, hopefully James and I will be able to get a proper wheel-to-wheel battle between the pair of us in at some point, because we've not really had that yet, despite the fact, like James said, we've not really been playing with team orders. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, obviously, I can really think of anyone better to be battling it out for a title with. Especially when you trust the person so much when you're racing, not to do anything stupid. So yeah, I mean I can't wait, to be honest. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm out of questions. Congratulations, mate, on your win and your 5th place, and all the best in 3 weeks' time.
Cheers, guys, and cheers to stream as well, boys. Thank you.
No problem. We'll just quickly finish it off there with the usual shout outs. So with regards to Formula 2, we will be on a small hiatus. We will be back, if I just get you the official date, it is June the 4th we'll be back. So we missed Japan, we missed United States, we missed Mexico, and we'll be back on the 4th of June for the Brazilian event, I suppose. It's an event since it's 2 races, it's not a Grand Prix. So we've got Brazil, and then on the 11th of June we will have the conclusion of the Formula 2 Season 3 here at Abu Dhabi. But this is only your precursor of what is to come ahead with regards to Summit League Racing. Tomorrow night at 9 PM we have Division 1. On Saturday at 6 PM we will have Division 2 in action, followed by Division 3 at 9 PM. And then the top dogs, the Elite Division, will be live at, I always get this wrong, 7 PM. There we go. 7 PM for an 8 o'clock race start on Sunday night. So from myself, 21 Maxwell, or Maxie, and from OG James, the original Statman, thank you very much for tuning in to tonight's Summit League Racing coverage, and hopefully we'll see you over the course of the weekend. Bye bye.
Bye.